oh, it's just like a bunch of action and no one gives a shit, whatever, that's fine. But it's not. It's a very kind of carefully made thing. It's a little bit like a watch.
Yeah, I'm late to the party. I've been busy, okay? Rebel Moon, an unwanted Star Wars story, is a disgusting, awful mess. If they had Oscars for ugliest visuals of last year, then this would clear any other contender. I mean, come on, look at these shots, they're so miserable. This one is supposed to show a snowy environment, for f***'s sake. Why is it so bland? Where's the color? Just because this is a flashback doesn't mean you can't make it look nice. And just because we're into color degrading doesn't mean you have to mire half the shots with silly blurs that make you think you need glasses, have enough lens flares to give J.J. Abrams a run for his money, and have this dumb fisheye effect that makes the film look like a circle. Seriously, it's very annoying. Perhaps we should ask Zack Snyder himself about his decision-making process.
There's a 1-minute film school to help you make something epic. Use color. Once you shoot your shot, go to edit, saturation, down, contrast up. It makes everything look a little bit less like it just came out of your camera.
You know, if your image has that much glow and haze in it, you should probably fix that first before sapping all the color from the frame. And this little trick doesn't fix all these shots where you filmed the actors against super bright backgrounds but didn't account for the shadows cast over them. Seriously, this is lighting 101. I want to be able to see the actors' faces, gosh darn it.
Also slow motion.
Ah, there we go. Good old slow-mo. A tool which can be used to heighten the drama of a scene, bring attention to an important moment, highlight the emotions of characters in otherwise missable seconds. How does Rebel Moon handle this? Well, we have slow-mos of guys crashing into tables, slow-mos of characters shooting guns for excessive amounts of time, slow-mos of characters jumping off cliffs, slow-mos of characters running and hiding behind walls, slow-mos of random NPCs walking past and then we never see them again, slow-mos of putting on a jacket, slow-mos of slow-mos of slow-mos of... Isn't everything just so much more epic and cool because it is in slow-mo? I'm trying to compensate for the utter lack of anything interesting happening in my story.
If you do like some little push on your friend into a close-up and you use slow motion as they turn and look, it really will add to the cinematic quality of the shots you're making.
Listen, if you want cool epic moments, you can't just spam them the whole movie and just expect the audience to care for any of it, simply because you think it looks cool. Epic moments have to have purpose, they have to be earned, not to be slapped at whatever random story beat you can get your hands on. Also, why does the score sound like it's plagiarizing other Zack Snyder films? Amazing pivot, I know. I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation as to why it sounds so similar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Alright, the story. It's written by a child.
What do you think makes Rebel Moon unique, and this universe unique?
Rebel Moon is unique for the content of the story.
Lol. It begins with the most boring opening monologue ever, as Anthony Hopkins explains that the king who ruled the galaxy or something died, and now the empire he ruled is trying to root out some rebels or something. Kinda hard to care about any of this when the matching visual is a spaceship flying through space. What do we learn from looking at this ship? How does this complement what's being said? What is the point of this visual? We're achieving nothing by showing this. this. Even though I didn't enjoy it, the opening monologue for The Killer at least had Michael Fassbender doing something related to the film, going about his character's day on the job. It wasn't just him sitting in a chair for 5 minutes. Even then, that would probably have had more of a point than, look at this dumb CGI spacecraft for a bit. Then we meet our protagonist Cora. She lives on a farming village. Oh no, the Empire people are coming, and that will be bad news bears. Cue slow-mo of seeds dropping to the ground because this is epic, and not because I have an obsession with slow-mowing seeds. Oh look, MODOK is in this film. What a comforting thought.
Surprised to see me?
The most interesting thing about this character is this one shot where the light glints off his eye way too bright. Yeah, leave that take in. Who gives a shit?
Because the sequences are always so very... I'm pretty careful with the construction of the movie.
MODOK and guy in charge of grain production talk about how the Empire is coming to get their grain. But oh no, grain production guy gave the excess grain to the rebels fighting the Empire. Do either of them bother coming up with a consistent and reasonable story they're gonna tell the Empire dudes why they can't give them any grain? Nope, MODOK makes excuses, and then grain production guy says to main villain guy that MODOK was lying for the sake of the villagers. Not a great save, but I'm sure villain guy is a reasonable villain and that he won't kill MODOK because why the fuck not? Oh wait, he does. By the way, introducing our villains, everyone! The most cartoonishly one-dimensional evil characters ever, and it's all played very unironically. You can tell who they are, easily, because they'll start acting like massive assholes for no reason.
He doesn't fight back. Careful with that stuff, you stupid machine!
Oh, you're hiding what happened to all the excess grain you were gonna give us. I'm gonna kill you because I'm evil. Oi, you, water girl. You look pretty. I think I might have sex with you because I'm a horrible person. Oi, no, you won't do that because I'm going to sex her first. Then you lot can have fun sexing her after I'm done sexing her.
That's how I like them, young. Strong enough to put up a fight.
I'm not exaggerating. This is the level of writing we're dealing with.
But you're not gonna do anything. Not until I split this sapling myself.
Guys, be better.
The lower-ranking assholes start to talk about how much non-consensual sexing they're gonna do to Water Girl. Cora happens to be nearby. I can guess how this scene is gonna go. Asshole tried to force himself on Water Girl. Protagonist will save her and have to run away. Oh look, Cora fights them and kills all of them because it's so satisfying watching mustache-twirling psychos get killed. They deserve it because they're so obviously evil. The sound effects for this scene alone are far more entertaining than the previous 30 minutes of film that have been watched up to this point.
There's a shot of Cora standing in the doorway of the granary right before the fight, and it's a shot of the bucket. She's out of focus, and the bucket that Sam dropped is in the foreground. So she's sort of standing in this as this weird out of focus shape, and there's like a bucket in the foreground. The mystery that it starts, this sort of idea that like you never saw the bucket fall.
Stop it!
But you knew it did, and it's just kind of, it's a double reveal. It's kind of an ironic reveal because like, that's the bucket on the ground, but that's her reveal as well. It's like, I don't know.
I don't either, Zach. Nothing you just said made any sense. And to the surprise of absolutely no one, Cora says she's gonna run away and look for some people to help protect the village.
Last year in Providence, you sold grain to the resistance.
I met a man there who introduced me to the insurgents.
Would he still know how to find them?
It's possible.
Then you'll take me to him.
Sounds reasonable, so long as we don't watch the next hour and a half of film remaining. We move on. Cora and random farm guy walk to another city to look for a guy who knows where the resistance fighters are hiding. And when they arrive there, they watch that guy get carted away.
Oh no.
Cora, that's our guy. That's the man we came to see, the one that introduced me to the blood axes.
And instead of helping him out, they just walk into a bar. But you see, if we had them rescue this guy, then we wouldn't get slow-mo of a guy walking past Cora. Oh no, we also wouldn't get another cartoonishly evil bad guy.
Yeah, I have a room upstairs with relatively clean sheets. I guarantee you by morning, you're gonna be begging me for more.
Guys, be better.
And oh no, we wouldn't get another embarrassingly shot action scene. Why are you sweeping his legs? Just shoot him with your gun. So every single shot Cora fired had the same sound effect except that last one. Why? I don't know, just wanted to highlight how much detail goes into this stuff.
I'm pretty careful with the construction of the movies.
And oh no, we wouldn't meet Charlie Hunman, I mean Kai, who is an opportunist bounty hunter who knows where another person of interest is. So on Kai's recommendation, they fly somewhere else and meet a rancher dude who has a buff guy as a prisoner.
But if you're here to accuse me of crimes against the mother world, I'm guilty as charged. Take it up with him.
The rancher says, his debt to me is 300,000 insert currency here. Oh, we don't have that kind of money. Oh, you don't? Well then if buff guy who's working off 300,000 insert currency here of debt to me can ride giant eagle over there, then he is yours. But if he can't, then you are all my slaves.
You all get a chain and a shackle. That's the deal.
What? If all you want is for the eagle to be tamed so that you can fly it or something, then why haven't you made that offer to Buff Guy yet? And do you really think that if he can't fly it, Cora and co are just gonna willingly hand themselves off as slaves to you? Really? So for the next 5 minutes of the film, we have to watch Buff Guy try to tame the eagle. He flies the eagle, whoop-de-fucking-do. Was totally worth the 5 minutes of slow-mo and eagle whispering and oh my god, look at how cool this is. He flew a frickin' eagle with the most pretentious and masturbatory shots imaginable. Oh god, the eagle flew past Cora in slow motion and Cora brushed its wings. Oh god, I'm gonna bust it. How frickin' epic and cool this is. So true to his word, the rancher lets Buff Guy go free, and as Cora and co walk to the ship, the rancher tries to fly the eagle and is immediately killed. Wait, what the fuck? What was the point of that? That was so unnecessary. Remember in Avatar 1 when Jake Sully had to learn to fly the winged creatures because it was an important step in the development of the Na'vi, and him learning to fly one helped connect him more with the Na'vi, and how learning to fly the winged things was pretty important later in the film, i.e. it served a point, as opposed to fly this eagle so that it can kill random McRancher man. Feels a little weird to kill him this vindictively, especially after he stayed true to his word, and was really only doing his job by keeping this guy as a prisoner.
But if you're here to accuse me of crimes against the mother world, I'm guilty as charged. Take it up with him. I'd gladly fight with you, but I have a debt on my name, and I honor my debts.
Your debt is square with me.
Atta go.
This is written by a baby. So then the gang fly to Apocalypse to hire another person. This is Assassin Lady. She's got my back. I'd advise not getting killed by her. Her swords glow in the dark or something. Could use that format on pretty much every character that gets introduced in this film. Assassin Lady is an assassin who fights a spider because we need another epic action scene to show how cool new character is. The fight begins and after some terrible camera work, Assassin Lady gets knocked down by Spider-Woman. She's defenseless and has no way of dodging Spider-Woman, so she should be dead. Except, oh whoops, Spider-Woman just misses her. Misses. After about 10 seconds of slow-mo showing how laughably defenseless Assassin Lady was. Plot armor coming in strong here, folks. While this is happening, nobody on Team Cora decides to go help her. Nope, the person you came to hire is currently fighting to the death, and you're just gonna stand there and watch. Brilliant. Dunno how she's gonna protect your farming village if she's dead, but oh well. The only person who does anything is random farmer guy to get this child to safety. Spider-Woman then throws Assassin Lady into a wall. She's struggling to beat the Spider-Woman. Cora and co should join the fight. Instead, we just get a shot of buff guy looking mildly concerned as Spider-Woman goes to attack random farmer man. Cora, who is friends with farmer man, should probably start shooting Spider-Woman to save her friend. Right? But nope. Instead, Assassin Lady stabs Spider-Woman in the balls and ignites her molten swords.
Nemesis is a skilled swordswoman who uses a pair of special molten metal swords. She can also fight with them not on, and she does a lot of fighting before she turns them on, because once she turns them on, they're kind of deadly. When they're not on, she's probably just messing around with you.
Yes, she has molten swords she could have been using this entire time, but decided, nah, I really need to almost die before using weapons I should have been using from the start, so that we can have cool, epic display of molten swords being revealed. Ooh. Spider-Woman then throws her weapon at Assassin Lady, and the molten swords break it in half. Again, confirming that Assassin Lady would have won the fight immediately had she been using these from the beginning. Spider-Woman then picks up Assassin Lady because she's an idiot and thinks she isn't gonna get immediately stabbed by the molten swords. And then Assassin Lady stabs her with the molten swords. Brilliant. To close off this clown show, Assassin Lady makes a big deal about how bad revenge is and that there's no honor in revenge.
There is no honor in this. This could easily be any of you like you in the gutter of some forgotten world. In the name of revenge, you won't remember that.
We then shift over to our third character introduction. Meet General Titus, everyone, a hungover alcoholic loser who we were actually told about earlier in the film.
General Titus, last hunter who went looking for him ended up with his head on a pike. As a warning, not to bother him.
Yeah, so that warning was for nothing. Brilliant storytelling, Zach. We break the trend of having a shitty epic thing happen, and Cora just convinces Titus to join them. How does she do this? Well...
I'm here to make you an offer, to give you a chance at redemption.
I am beyond redemption.
I have no time for pity! Kalel, no! What about all the dead men you once commanded? What about them? If not redemption, what about revenge?
Moron, what was the whole point of getting Assassin Lady? What is this writing, where the whole point of a couple scenes ago was that revenge is cringe, and then the way you hire the next guy is by persuading him with revenge? Slow clap, slow clap. We then cut back to evil villain man, and because these are cartoonish space Nazis, I will call him Gerballs. Gerballs is looking for information on some rebels, and he's getting this from the same guy that Cora and random farmer guy were looking for. Oh, so if they rescued him like they should have, then Gerballs wouldn't have found out where the rebels were. Why not tweak this so that Cora goes into the bar, asks for the guy, and is told he got arrested a day ago? It's not that hard to fix this. Gerballs then kills the guy after giving him a deal to go free, because telling him he will go free is vague enough that he can kill him and still be true to his word. This is only the second worst film of the year when the antagonist made a deal and went back on it because they're uninteresting one-dimensional clowns.
Yes, Admiral. I'll set a course for Sharon.
It's a very kind of carefully made thing. It's a little bit like a watch.
Cora and co then fly to the planet where the rebels are and try to convince them to protect their village. The rebels have ships and stuff that will make protecting the farming village easier. But then one of the rebel leaders points out that the Empire has world-destroying ships.
That ship cannot be destroyed by a few dozen fighters. That ship and the men aboard it are world destroyers.
So it's essentially useless trying to protect a tiny random farming village of about 100 people when the enemy has weapons that can level planets. But then Cora starts chastising the rebels, saying that because the farmers work so hard to give the rebels some grain, that they should then throw all their eggs in one basket to defend the village.
His people toil with their bare hands to grow the grain that fed you! All of you!
And enough champagne to fill the Nile.
But the moral grandstanding works. The other rebel leader just agrees to help because he doesn't want another world to fall in the name of the rebellion. A pretty stupid decision, considering it's tactical suicide that will achieve nothing except killing everyone, for similar reasons to ones that will come up later. Just remember who the Empire is currently trying to wipe out.
He sent his most brutal commander into the outer reaches of the Motherworld's dominion to find and crush without mercy those who would call themselves rebel.
This handful against a dreadnought.
My forces against the King's gaze. We cannot fight in the open against the King's gaze.
Seeking our help to stand against a dreadnought of the Motherworld.
So is it the dreadnoughts that will be attacking the farm or the King's gaze? Why do we keep switching between them? And why are we even talking about this King's gaze? Cora said they only got visited by a dreadnought.
Gunnar's village was visited by a dreadnought that threatens its very existence.
Where did you get King's gaze from? That doesn't come till later in the movie. It's dialogue like this that makes you go, yep, nobody proofread this.
Melius. Why am I not surprised?
I wonder why we're singling out this random. They leave the planet and then a little later Goebbels shows up to destroy the planet. He then starts talking to the planet's leader.
That ship is named the King's Gaze.
Weird name. Is there gonna be an interesting explanation as to why it's called that? Nope, it's some boring shit about how charity is what cost the king who ruled the Empire's life, and that the King's Gaze is a reminder of his benevolent gaze that was lost to charity. And because charity killed the king, Goebbels doesn't like charity. As if we couldn't make him any more evil. And then he kills the planet leader with a walking cane. And in case we needed more examples of the shitty filmmaking, we have to slow-mo this moment as overbearing orchestral choir plays. How is this film not satire? Oh, and as Goebbels leaves, the space Nazis bombard the planet from orbit and completely obliterate it. No idea why that's noteworthy. Moving on, Cora starts talking with Kai. If you've forgotten, Kai is the guy they got at the bar. In between distracting lens flares, Kai mentions that he's got some cargo he needs to deliver to some bad people.
There's one complication. The shite in the cargo hold. I got buyers waiting on Gondval. Might be wise to sever my ties to life as a thief before we go picking a fight with the dreadnought.
Kai is gonna betray them, right? Oh wow, Kai betrayed them. What a shocking twist. At least we get some insight into his motivations as a character.
Do you know what the Motherworld did to my planet? They didn't just destroy it. They tortured every man, woman, and child. You know what that taught me? Never set foot on the wrong side of history.
It's already more interesting than anybody else we've been introduced to. I'm sure that means he'll be sticking around a while longer. So it turns out that absolutely everyone that random farmer guy and Cora recruited is the bestest, most well-known people in the whole galaxy. How is this information delivered? Well, Goebbels goes one by one to each of our heroes and reads the blurb of who they are and why they're important.
Commander Bloodaxe, leader of the very insurgency the King's Gaze was sent to this backwater of the galaxy to capture. Only by the name of Nemesis. Assassinated 16 high-ranking Imperial officers and their security. If I failed to mention, we're in the presence of royalty. Tarak Decimus, or should I say Prince Tarak. His actions at the Battle of Sarawu precede him. The farmer. I understand why all of them are here. But you.
I don't know. I just got here.
This is just the most mind-numbingly lazy way to deliver this exposition. Ugh. By the way, has anybody noticed that pretty much none of these three have spoken a word since they got recruited? They're literal NPCs that only speak when the main character approaches them. Then Goebbels gets to Cora, and well, he says this.
Now I thought I'd recognize something in you. Down in that filthy village, Scargiver, Artheleus. The most wanted fugitive in the known universe.
You'd think that if you thought you saw the most wanted person in the whole universe that you would check it was them instead of doing nothing, but then again I've seen vegetables with more of a brain than this imbecile. And speaking of Cora, it's high time I brought attention to some of her backstory I've been skipping over until I had all my ducks in a row to make a point.
I was one of them, daughter of a decorated commander, friend to the king and the royal family. For my loyalty and service, I was promoted to the elite guard of the royal family. I was given the honor of being the bodyguard to Princess Isa.
As it turns out, Cora was one of the most trusted individuals in the entire Villainous Empire. For someone so important, and who knows the space Nazis so intimately, she would know exactly what kind of weaponry and ships they have available to them. Which makes you think, how on earth is she going to defend the pitifully small farming village from an enemy with ships that can fire nukes at them from orbit? Well, part of her plan is to find General Titus, and then mentor him to lead.
General named Titus. If I could find him and mentor him to lead.
Despite saying a sentence ago that he led his men against the Empire.
Once a hero of the realm, who turned his own forces against those of the Motherworld.
So he doesn't need to be taught how to lead. This is all brilliant dialogue, of course, but finding Titus isn't the only part of her plan. It gets extended to finding some mercenaries to train the farmers to fight.
And we're looking to hire some fighters to train and protect us against a force from the Motherworld.
I don't know where they're gonna find the weaponry to sustain a mounted defense against, well, this. Good thing Cora's also going to get the rebels to join their cause, of which they gain a couple ships and about 10 people. This is seriously the plan. Tell me, if the Empire guys were willing to nuke a civilization with far more resources than the farming village for simply hiding the rebels...
We are no longer in need of your grain. King Leviticus' kindness has been more than enough to sustain us.
But she took them in. Known enemies of the Motherworld, mended their wounds, repaired their broken ships.
What do we think is gonna happen when they come across that same farming village which is defended by the rebels? Even if they don't press the win immediately button, say because they really want to capture a few of the enemy, for some reason, once they find out the rebels they've been trying to root out for ages, a general famous for his mutiny against the Empire, and the most wanted person in the whole universe is there, they would stop at nothing to achieve victory when that many important enemy pieces are all concentrated in a very small and very reachable location. Even if you repel the first ship that comes to attack the village, the Empire is just gonna come back with a million more super ships and forces and completely overwhelm the farm. Did I mention that this is a galactic conquering empire?
The realm marched its armies into the vastness of space, conquering everything in its path.
If you want the village to stay as a village, then they have to do whatever the Empire wants, or they're getting destroyed. If you're going to defy the space Nazis, then a guy you need to train to lead people, a ragtag suicide squad, 10 rebels and a few ships isn't gonna cut it. You need an army. An actual army. Or you need to get everyone in the village and run the fuck away. You moronic dumbass.
When I lay your bodies at the foot of the region, I'll be a hero of the realm. They'll write songs of my feats of courage.
It's not like I didn't do all the work.
It's nice to see someone has a personality around here. Kai gets random farmer man to kill or paralyze Cora.
All you have to do is pull the trigger. You play your cards right, you at least might make it out of this alive.
Ah, he's trying to look out for the guy of no value to the Empire, and has the best chance of escaping this. Don't know why Kai is doing this, or why he cares. Would be interesting to find out his reasoning. And he's dead. The only mildly interesting character in the whole film dies like that. He didn't even put up a fight. No protest, no struggle, he just waits around for random farmer guy to pull the trigger. Bye! The heroes escape, a fight breaks out. Lots of dumb bullshit happens. Rebel guy goes to stop the ship shooting at the heroes. He misses after 30 seconds of painfully slow build-up and is shot by the ship's pilot. A pretty funny moment in its own right, but it's completely overshadowed by what comes next. combination of this much insistence being placed on random nobody character we've barely been introduced to, on top of some really, really bad acting, is what makes this so embarrassing. Rebel guy dies, nobody cares, he managed to kill the pilot, and the ship crashes into everything, which sections off Cora and Jerobal's off from everyone so that they can have a final boss fight. They go back and forth for a bit before Cora beats him and chucks him off a cliff. Oh no, main villain is dead. Why do I get the feeling he'll be back in part 2? The heroes pose very similarly to the ending of Justice League, because that's all Snyder wanted to do. Have his superhero team-up moment with characters we barely have a reason to care about.
I don't like making ensemble movies, although I've only made ensemble movies. 99% of the films I've made are ensemble. I don't know why I do that to myself, but I seem to just be addicted to making ensemble films.
If he couldn't make this payoff satisfying in 4 hours, no wonder he couldn't do it in 2. Our heroes ride off into the sunset so that we can prepare for the utter train wreck that will be part 2. Movie over. Oh, no, we didn't have to wait for the next film to find out what happened to Jerobal's. He's just alive. Somehow. Must have been a little bouncy pad 10 meters underneath that platform. He gets a spooky vision from Cora's spooky father, telling him to go get her or something. He falls through some ice and screams at the camera, ending the movie on another embarrassing note. That's it. That's Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire, an unwanted Star Wars story.
What was the best part about working with Zach on this movie?
Everything. I mean, the thing that's really unexpected about Zach's process on a film this big is that he's been cooking this thing up for 30 years.
This film is what we call filler. $80 million and 2 whole hours to develop a story, characters, a reason to be invested in any of it, and the best we could do was the most black and white good versus evil space wars story possible. We spend so long on absolutely nothing, with entire sections of film dedicated to wasting your time. The only thing the film tries to do is have cool, epic moments. However, every single one falls flat and rings hollow because the work necessary to make them meaningful was not done. The slow-mos are egregious to the point of making the film its own parody. Even the most liver-diseased vodka is my water alcoholic Russian would die if they had to take a shot every time Snyder did a slow-mo.
Were you tired? That's right. I thought I'd make it an early night. I thought you were doing your part for the harvest.
Adds to the cinematic quality my ass. There is absolutely no passion, no care, and no talent put into this gigantic turd of a film. It sucks so much at delivering even a sliver of watchable entertainment that the best parts of the movie were an hour and 9 minutes in when I had to go to the toilet to relieve myself of toxic wastes, and 2 hours and 4 minutes in when the film ended and I could relieve myself of the toxic waste that was this film. It's shit.
I don't know why he spared me.
Gotta love that audio peaking.
I don't know why he spared me.
I'm pretty careful with the construction of the movies.